Yeah, right here is good. Hey folks, we're back to our another place that has some memories for us, particularly for myself, because my house is literally a stone's throw away. That's down the alley here. I could watch. Steve doesn't believe me. I could look out my bedroom after school and see this is where we all get after school and play basketball. And I could look out the bedroom window and see who was up here.
I don't think so.
I wish I could go in the house now. I could tell them. Anyway,
nobody believes you.
Nobody believes me but me.
You gotta believe me.
Yeah. Anyway, but this was a place we grew up and played a lot of basketball. One of my first times of playing basketball outside with other people was here. You know, everybody had a little basketball net maybe near their house, but this was where we played organized, probably as young as, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old. There were always kids that were older. You had to work your way into the game, or we most of the time had to wait on the sidelines. And we never broke up any game. We never did anything. There was an etiquette.
The Morins, the St. Jeans.
They were older, not by much, but they were older than us.
They were a couple years older and bigger, and they would control the time of the court.
And when they were done, we would play.
And then we would play. But we spent hours and hours and hours
even into
here.
the winter. We were saying before, I can remember a particular memory.
We would shovel this.
We would shovel this thing out, so it wouldn't be like this time of day. We'd play in February, and the worst part of the shoveling, or whenever there was snow on it, was because the way it was tilted here. If the snow was at the other end and the sun would come out, it would melt a little bit, and then would be water on the basketball court, and you dribble down into puddles. You talk about things at the Boston Garden. We had our own little had to dribble in certain places.
Yeah.
Also in the winter, what happened was, not this one, but there was a plow hit one of these poles. And for like 20 years, that's all it was. It wasn't down. You could still shoot at it. And we'd start a game, and whoever lost the choose would have to shoot at this basket, at least temporarily. So it was one of the things that you to deal with when you're outside.
I don't know how many games here. There was a path right in front of me here. It's not there any longer. But there was literally a path from here almost to my house. And that's the way
And we're literally, from where we were when we started, probably less than a mile.
Oh, easy.
Even you could walk there in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's how close we were.
Yeah, it was really
We
close.
talked about playing baseball and how many guys we would get. And there would be, 15, 20 kids up here that nobody got bussed in. Nobody had cars. We could walk here. That's how many kids lived in this small neighborhood. And we would get baseball games. We can't show you where we used to play baseball. We'd play not just 2 or 3 guys, but we'd have 2 full baseball teams on either side, with Steve being the only left-handed hitter. We remember we couldn't play. We didn't have enough to have all the outfields, so we'd have to shift because Steve was the only lefty.
Right.
We'd close one out one field, usually the right field. With Steve come, everybody'd open up and move the other way.
Yeah.
We'd have enough gloves, bats we would worry about, the balls you'd lose.
And we would play. We'd play like all day.
Night, all day.
Only one of us, Goody. good. And to this day, I mean, he'll admit it. To this day, he can't deny it.
Yeah, so many witnesses.
He would go home at noontime. He would look at his watch and say, I gotta go home for lunch.
But what was his lunch?
Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly.
And we used to tease him about. To this day, we still.
And I don't know what the rest of us ate. We were all skinny little kids, but
I don't remember.
Why didn't we all go home and get something
I
to
don't
eat?
know.
Why didn't we bring something
Goody,
with us?
Goody was a good boy.
We'll go into that. We don't know what that means. But we got a lot of other memories.
He still is a good kid.
Yeah, we're all good kids. Some of us grew up, some of us did.
A lot of fun here. Ticka said he went here from 1 to 8. I went here from 1 to 4. And then I left here and I went to Providence, and I went to St. Pius for a year there. So, and then I moved back into the neighborhood, and that's when I met you.
Yeah. I went from here right to LaSalle, and wish I never went because all my friends were in Mount Pleasant.
We were all in Mount Pleasant and George
I have one friend.
West.
I have one friend. I have one friend that I know that I don't think is from LaSalle. Watch somebody say, "Yeah, I remember you from LaSalle."
And he was told that his friends outside of the high school, Catholic high school, were bad, right?
Well, you want me to tell the story about being in that window right there, which was the 7th grade, one on the end. The 8th grade was, I think, on the other side, or vice versa. I don't remember. I can remember looking out that window, and they used to have what we call release time, where they would bring up the kids from the school we showed Manton Avenue, and they'd bring them up and they'd get some religion for a couple hours a day. And we would get to go outside and play. But the nuns would tell us, I'll never forget this, you got to put all this stuff away. And I thought, they thought that these kids, who were the public school kids, somehow were going to steal our stuff. They weren't up to our standards because we were good boys because we went to the school and girls. And I remember thinking, I don't trust this kid next to me. I know those guys. They were my friends. And I said, this is crazy, what they're talking about. And I said, there's something something rigged with this system. These poor guys are coming up already got a reputation, whether they deserved it or not. We're going to sit down maybe somewhere and do a little bit more of a show if we can, and maybe divide this up into several shows. But
So-
if you got any memories or any photos or any other memories of the area, be sure to send us in. We'll ask for that later on, but we'll see you back in a couple of minutes. All right. It's going to wrap up today's show. This
Beautiful day in the neighborhood, huh?
beautiful day in the neighborhood. We came out today to do a show. It's a little different. We're going to have to go home and see what it looks like once I start editing.
Well,
But it's the first show we've done since we started. If you're watching us, hopefully, it's still the same old place. You can watch us, but we'd mainly like you to visit our Facebook page, which is Ferr and Ticka Show on Facebook, or send us an email, ferrandticka@gmail.com, and you can send us info and keep up on us. So it's an easier place. Also, you can I can put up at the end our own emails. We don't mind getting them there, but
not
it's
at all.
well, as long as you're watching, as long as you're asking, as long as you. But I don't know what has happened since our last show. Not that much. We're at the end of the summer here, going into the fall. We haven't seen a concert in a while. I don't
No,
remember.
we haven't. Actually, the last show we were watching the Giant game at your house.
Ah, that's right.
Oh,
Well, we
nightmare
can
that
talk about
was.
the Giants. They just won the other day, but that was a bad night, and they've had a bad season. So the highlight of that night was us having a show, and which was a lot of fun doing it there. But you're right, that one, I forgot about that.
But we do have a concert coming up at the end of the month. We're going to go see the Yardbirds, and at the Narrows and Fall River. I seen them 5-6 years ago. Absolutely phenomenal. They still have the
Who's original?
this time that we're going to see them, the drummer Jim McCartney would be.
Ooh, the drummer. You always want to see the drummer.
Well, he's awfully. What are you being sarcastic for?
Well, I don't know.
He's
You're
freaking good.
That's a big selling point. If you said like the lead singer, the guitar, the drummer
Well,
is that's
yeah, but he
carries the name. Is he legally got it, or is there like 14
No,
other
no,
Yardbirds
there's no
traveling?
other. No, there's no other.
Is this the Yardbirds?
This is the
only.
Yardbirds.
This the only Yardbirds? You don't know.
Yes, there is.
This is the one with
this
the
is
famous
only
drummer.
one. Now they do.
Everybody
have,
knows the drummer of the Yardbirds. Go ahead.
Well, they should. I bet my kids know him.
Yeah, I
not.
ask you could email.
But
us
anyway,
in.
so
How many people know
Jim's the only one there. On the last tour until Chris, the rhythm guitarist, he is now ill. He had a couple of strokes, so he can't tour anymore. They were the last two. However, up until recently, like this tour that they're doing, Top him, which was the original guitarist before Clapton, toured with them. So, but he only did a short tour, and now Johnny A is going to be the lead guitarist. But I'll tell you, but they are the price of the admission. John Eden, who does the vocal, sounds like Keith Reff. Phenomenal. His phrasing is almost identical. They're not a tribute band. They're awfully good. They by far probably the best sound in my life that I want.
So you're looking forward to this?
This is going to be the show.
This is different because the last few I've put out there, and I think people have enjoyed. So I knew what to expect. I know the band, but I'm not expecting as much as Steve is because for me to see. A thrill enough to see the original drummer from Yardbirds would be enough for me.
No,
anything else is going to be great.
They're not a tribute band.
Oh, good.
That they're not. It's not like going to see. I don't want to talk bad about anybody, but it's not like going to see Tree Dog Night at Twin Rivers, and they got one lead singer out of the three. And
how many bands now have the original members left anyway? Can you think of a band that we knew when we were kids, from the Who to the Stones to nobody?
Who
has the original? If you know one right now, call us. That's what we should do, a live show.
Actually, up top of my head, one of the only bands that still have the original members is Aerosmith.
Aerosmith. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's
Okay.
right off the top of his head. We didn't even have to cue him for that
Right
one.
off the top of the head.
I can't think of that.
Many of them. Like Jethro Tull is coming to our area, but Ian Anderson will be the only one there. So actually, it's Jethro Tull presented by Ian Anderson.
A lot of them, what happens is they take and they fight
I love
over the
Tull, by the
name.
way.
They
but,
fight over the name and who's touring with who, and they go off and splinter off. You know what I saw recently? Speaking of that type of thing, Foreigner. I don't know why. They were on some. No, they were on some. What do you call it? Morning show. and it wasn't the lead singer. And what's his
Jones
name?
is there. Mick Jones is there.
He wasn't even there during the show.
Oh, no?
He was homesick, so they had nobody from the original. He was like Mick Jones was the only one. But they said, oh, we're going to be on our show. We're going to bring back Lou Gramm, the original singer.
Yeah.
Boy, you want to see what he looks like now. He's been at the bakery a little too much. And I think he's been sick. He had some brain aneurysm or something a year ago, and he couldn't tour anymore. Seemed like a nice guy, and they brought him back, and he could still, they did their iconic singer. The singer that they have now, the substitute, actually is pretty good. It's like Journey has another guy that they put from Puerto Rico who sings like the original guy. So a lot of these bands, they get people and they substitute whatever is left of the band. I saw something with the Who recently, and it's Daltrey and Townsend, and I think they got Simon is Pete's brother, and Zach. Ringo's
I can
son.
handle that sometimes.
But it's not. It's not. And Whistle.
And they're
it's not,
done. I mean, they put a fork in them.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes to see these old bands, I'd rather see somebody younger or somebody I don't know. So we'll see what happens with the Yardbirds. I'll give you a critique of Steve's choice.
I'm really looking forward.
Yeah, he's looking forward. I'm sure it'll be a great show. And well, I think that's it for.
I think that's it. So keep those emails and letters coming. We always reply to one. We didn't today. I didn't have one with me, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, that's right. We gotta do a readback.
We'll catch up. So if you want to hear your name,
questions, answers.
Yeah, if you want to hear your name, drop us a line, and
we'd love to hear any questions you have for us or any memories, especially of the area.
Especially about this area.
Yeah, if you got any memories of places we missed, or places we saw, or pictures, we can add it to the show or do something else with it and read them on the next show. And I guess from here, Steve, we'll see you down the road. And take care, buddy.